Alright, let's talk about coin grading. I think one of the most common questions I see is whether or not it is worth it to get a coin professionally graded. And a lot of times I see responses that are not done with poor intentions, but just misguided. So I wanted to create a video to just kind of lay out the information, the cost of grading, to help inform people that are considering whether or not to get a coin graded. This video is going to be two different parts. The first part is just going to be focused on how does one get a coin graded, where do they send it, how much does membership cost, how much are grading fees, how much is return shipping, how much is handling, all these sorts of things. And in the second part, I'm going to talk a little bit about when it is worth it to get a coin graded, looking more, what kind of coins should I get graded. So there are a lot of options when it comes to coin grading, or I guess maybe not a lot, but there are more options that I'm going to present in this video, but I'm going to stick with the three largest companies: PCGS, NGC, and ANACS. There's not a huge difference between PCGS and NGC. They both have membership fees in order to submit. They both have handling fees. Their prices per coin are suspiciously similar. They're and you can see these on screen now. I'm kind of flipping through them. You have NGC's membership fees, NGC's grading fees, and their shipping fees. I'm also going to put links to these in the description of the video so that you can go check them out yourself, and as time goes on, I'm sure that they will change. We just started 2023, so at the time of the recording, and they just updated their fees to the ones that you see here. One of the pros I will say for ANACS is there's no membership fee, there is no handling fee, and they, well, I don't cover this in the spreadsheet that kind of lays out all the prices. They will often run specials where coin grading is as low as $10 per coin plus your fixed costs. So here is a spreadsheet that kind of condenses all the information from the different websites. The shipping too is just an estimate. I find when I'm submitting coins between shipping and insurance, I will spend up to $40, but this is, is one coin worth being graded? That's the main focus of this video. I see it post very frequently on Reddit, on different coin forums, saying, found this coin, is it worth getting graded? So the answer is very often no, just because of how expensive it is to get a single coin graded. So if you wanted to send one coin to PCGS, you're going to spend, we'll say $5 to ship it there, USPS first class. Membership, to grade a single coin, it's not worth getting to the higher tier, so you're going to start at the lowest tier. It's going to be $69. There's a $10 handling fee. There's a $23. This is economy. So if your coin's over $300, easily over $300, then you're going to have to pay a $40 fee instead. But we'll say it's economy, and then your return shipping is $27. So you're going to spend $134 to get that coin graded. If it's an error coin, then you're going to spend a little bit more. PCGS just redid their system so that instead of it being a separate fee for error coins, they need to be submitted separately, which is actually quite frustrating because they will charge you a separate handling fee. Instead of putting the coins together, there'll be a separate handling fee. And PCGS, unlike NGC, this is one of the differences, does not combine shipping. So you will pay an additional $27 to have that single coin shipped back to you. NGC offers the option, if you fill out the paperwork properly and you follow up with customer service, because they don't always do it, but there's at least the chance that they'll hold one order once it's complete and then combine shipping, and that'll save you some money. So yeah, as you can see, and then NGC is a little bit better, but that mostly stems from their membership fee being cheaper. So to get a single coin graded would be 91, or to get an error coin graded, it would cost you $109 to get a single coin graded. Now PCGS, if you're getting 10 coins graded economy with the vouchers and stuff, then it ends up being a little bit a lot cheaper per coin, but it's still pretty expensive. It's going to run you anywhere from $300 to $450, kind of depending on whether you have any vouchers left over or what tier you're submitting. One thing I've seen a couple of people say is that PCGS grading vouchers are free. I don't think that they are free, because you have to pay for the membership, and PCGS membership doesn't have a whole lot of purpose other than submitting for grading. So I don't think it's great to look at those as free. If you're not submitting enough coins to be using the vouchers in an economical way, then I think you should maybe consider the membership. I guess this is aimed at, I know that there are more serious collectors who are paying for it for like show access and stuff like that, but I think that's a little bit beyond the scope. If you have enough money to fly to Vegas to go to a PCGS show, then this video is probably not for you. But anyways, so and then we have ANACS. Their grading fees are much lower. They do have an add-on fee. They don't have a handling fee. They don't have a membership fee. And so the total ends up being $50 to $60 for an error coin. And to get 10 coins graded, it's also substantially cheaper. So that is, for starting out, like I started with PCGS. I think in hindsight, starting with ANACS might not have been a bad thing. It would have saved me a lot of money, especially as you're kind of learning how grading works and how the companies grade. So I think that kind of covers the first part of the video. We can transition to the second part, and that is how to determine whether a coin is worth grading. And this is a purely economic perspective that I'm giving here. Sometimes there are sentimental reasons to have a coin graded. It was passed down to you, or has some sort of special meaning to you. And obviously you got to kind of figure out, is it worth spending whatever amount of money getting that coin graded and protected, and that's kind of up to you. But looking at it just from an economic perspective, for somebody who like finds a coin, inherits a coin, I think a lot of times on Reddit, at least, people post these coins that they inherit, and I see a lot of the responses saying like, that coin's worth $100, that coin's worth $200, you should definitely get it graded. And it's like, well, hold on a second. Is grading going to add enough value? Like, is it going to add more than you're spending on it in value? And very often I think the answer is no. And a lot of coins can be sold raw for pretty similar prices to what they can be sold slabbed. The cases where this is different, I think one example that kind of illustrates this point where you have an added value is Pour One coins. If you came to me with this coin on screen and I didn't have a long time to look at it, you just kind of handed it to me, I can ID that it's a flowing hair scent, I'd probably offer you like, I can't see the date from this picture, so say going off that, I would probably offer you like around $50. Now, I did have this coin, I did have it submitted, and it was graded a Pour One, and it actually CAC'd as well. It's not super apparent in this picture, but you can see the smallest amount of a 5 down here. And so it's worth, I guess, like $200 to $300. And poor ones are an example of where grading is worth it. People that are competing in low ball sets need that 1. They don't want, you know, a fair 2 or an AG3 or details damage. But even, you know, buying this coin raw before you have it locked in at that grade, there's a little bit of concern here. You know, there's a little hint of maybe some slight environmental damage. The back is pretty much entirely gone. You don't know for sure that this is going to grade poor 1. And so I think that there's, you know, risk involved there, and so that's where, you know, grading, I think most coin stores, unless they themselves are, you know, kind of specializing in and trying to grade poor coins, would sell you this for $50 to $100. And so if you get, there's a little bit of luck, a decent amount of skill in finding and determining whether a coin is a poor 1. I think my rate of success on poor coins is like 70-ish%. I've gotten, you know, a couple fairs, a couple about goods, a couple details. But yeah, but this is an example where it's worth it to grade, because you're spending $40 to get it graded in addition, but it's adding more than $40 worth of value. A common gold coin isn't gonna benefit from that. You know, an MS gold coin might, but a common one won't. Speaking of, you know, MS, I think another example would be like MS type coins. If they're on the higher end of the MS spectrum, then they can benefit. You can sometimes find uncirculated cents wholesale for, you know, $30 to $65, and if you can find a nice example and it grades, you know, MS64 red brown, then you're gonna, you know, 175 is inflated. We could look at the, let's see what they actually sell for in 64 red brown. I'm guessing like 150-ish, 130. Okay, yeah. So if you bought this coin for $40, spent $40 grading it, you can make a profit selling it for 130 to 150. And so that's one where it benefits from the grading. And I think that it's hard to get that kind of price on a raw one, because it's kind of hard to tell whether it's going to be MS62 brown, or whether it's going to be, you know, MS64 red brown, or if it's going to be MS65 red. You know, it's where you get to the kind of finer points where one grade makes a pretty big difference. I mean, if you look here between 63 and 64, it's like $100 difference. So this is a coin where if you think you can get that grade, spending $40 to get it is going to be worth it. Now, if the difference between these two grades was like $10, $15, which it is for some coins in certain grades, getting it graded isn't going to make a difference. You could just sell it raw. There's no point in spending that $40 or $50 because you're going to be able to get that price raw. So the last kind of example, just you know, the MS kind of train is like Mint State Morgans. You can buy them right now for $45 to $55 a piece, wholesale, and you know, an MS62 one is going to sell for about that same price, maybe $5 or $10 above that price. But MS63, you know, you're going to get some more of the grading feedback, but you're still going to lose money. MS64, last time I did the math, was kind of like the break-even point for your standard common date Morgan, to where the grading fee starts to cover itself. So you really don't want to be sitting, I mean, ideally you want to be making money, right? So you should be aiming for MS65s, and that's, you know, they sell for about $180, $190, and so then, you know, you could do the math there. You're making around $100, a little bit under $100 if you count for fees and stuff like that. But so just to kind of briefly recap, first of all, grading a single coin is extremely expensive, and so you have to keep that in mind, whether you're the one considering grading or whether you're giving advice to somebody about whether they should get a coin graded. You know, you're going to be spending to get a single coin graded at PCGS $134. Now, alternatively, there's some options like, submitting through dealers, stuff like that, which is always, I think, a decent idea, having them take a look at it, but not a lot of dealers I know don't offer this option anymore just because it's very time intensive. And I know that it's kind of on the decline that that's being offered. Anyways, I hope that this video has been informative. I hope you've learned a little bit about coin grading and when it is worth it. If you have any questions or ideas for future kind of content or videos I can make that would help people kind of learn more about coin collecting, coin grading, just let me know in a comment. And yeah, I hope this helped.